Many students think scoring higher on SAT math questions is just about having a solid math foundation and practicing a lot. But no matter what's your level right now, you can always raise your score by just knowing a simple strategy. In this video, I'm going to share with you a simple strategy that works every single time. Whether you're scoring for 600, 700, or you're aiming for a perfect score. And it all starts with something I call 3S technique. First S is for scan, second is for solve, and the third S is for subscribe. No, it's not. The third one is for skip, and the art is to choose the perfect S at the right time. Your very first step when facing SAT questions is to scan. You shouldn't solve questions linearly. You should find the best sequence to save time and set your focus at maximum. And the trick is the first questions, especially questions in Module 1, are actually the easiest question. So you should be sure that those questions doesn't have any trap, doesn't need any hard thinking. They're just easy and you can solve them mentally. Take a look at the first questions of Module 1 in one of the practice tests in Blue Book. Question 1. What is the probability of selecting a bit that has a defect? For a particular machine that produces bits, 29 out of every 100 bits have a defect. Okay, so the answer is C. Question 2. What's the speed in miles per hour of the car 5 seconds after it began to accelerate? S is speed and T is for time, so I put 5 in the equation instead of T, and I will have D 55. Question 3. What's the value of 24x? X is 3/4, so the answer is C, 18. Question 4. What's the equation that best represents the line of best fit? As we see in the picture, we have positive y-intercept and also positive slope. So the only possible answer is A. I think that you get the point. So the smart move is to blast those 5 to 10 questions that comes first in your model. They're not designed to trap you, they're not designed to challenge you, just solve them and move on. After that, things start to get a little tougher, and the trick is you should only spend 5 seconds at max to scan questions. So this is what you should do. Don't read the entire problem, just read the last sentence of the problem. This way you can understand if the question is something that you can actually solve quickly. Let's look at this question. The last sentence is, if the system has no solution, what's the value of h? Okay, we have a system of equations and it doesn't have any solution. Both of them are linear, so I understand that slopes should be equal. And easy, I can solve it, so I will solve it in first round. The last sentence is, what's the length of xy? So I don't understand what the question is about. So I read the first sentence. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle XYZ. So I understand that this question is about similar triangles. I can solve it right now because I know the answer. I have solved these kind of questions before. But the other thing that I can do is that after I read the last sentence and I didn't get what the question is about, I can skip it. I can save it for the round 2. Both ways is okay and you can choose the one that you're more comfortable with. Reading the last line of questions also has another advantage. In this way, if the question is overloaded with so many information, you don't fall for that trap. You know exactly what you need. Take a look at this question. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the y-intercept of the graph in this context? So okay, it finds the best interpretation of the y-intercept, and I know that in y-intercept t is 0, so y is 8,000, so it's either B or D. And then I read the whole question and I can read it fast because I know what I want and I can get the answer without paying attention to the additional information I have. Now, this is something that I think you know, but if you don't, you should really know that. Model 2 is adaptive. That means Model 1 determines if the Model 2 is hard or easy for you. So in Model 1, accuracy is king. Even if you have extra time, your goal is just not speed, it's zero mistake. So what we're going to do is that at the first round of solving questions, we're just going to solve questions that we're sure we can solve them. So if you have doubt or you see a problem that you have never seen before, just save it for the second round. Second round is the round that you have the maximum level of concentrate. In my opinion, even one problem at Model 1 is so much because Model 1 is so easy and you cannot find a hard question in Model 1. So everything is just about concentration. You have enough time and if you focus, you can get all the questions right. In Model 2, however, it's different. Your goal is to allocate enough amount of time to every question. Just finishing the module and solving all the questions with high focus is everything you need. It's already a trophy. So let's check it till here. If you're sure that you can solve a question, solve it. If you doubt or you think that that question is time consuming, just let it for the round 2. So we reach second round of solving questions. In the second round, you should solve harder and time-consuming questions, so you may face questions that you don't know how to solve. And that's okay, don't worry. This is what you should do. 1. Read the whole questions carefully. 2. Give the question the maximum of 30 seconds focused thought. 3. If you find a way to solve the questions, it's great. But if nothing clicks, again, don't worry, save it for the last. I call this the 30 seconds rule. Now you might ask, okay, what's the point? And the point is the incubation effect. Now here's where psychology helps you. When you try to solve a hard question and you can't, then you move to another question. Your brain don't do exactly what you do. Your subconscious keeps working on the hard question on the background. This is called the incubation effect. Often, when you come back to the question, the idea just pops into your mind. On the SAT, this is gold. By skipping a question strategically, you give your mind a time to think and process that hard questions, while you rack up points on the easier ones. So let's compare round 1 to round 2. Think of round 1 as speed mode. In this round, as I told you, you're going to solve questions that you're sure you can solve them, and you can solve it instantly. In Model 1, you're probably going to solve most questions in round 1. But Model 2 is different. You might solve fewer than half the questions in Model 2. And that's okay, because Model 2 needs more concentration and less speed, and it's just okay if you can solve all the questions. The point of round 1 in Model 2 is that you make sure you solve all the questions that you know, because this is very important for Model 2. Most of students make a very bad mistake in Model 2. They try to solve questions linearly. And the problem is that the last questions are the harder questions, and also the combination of questions that you know. So you can't focus. And the catastrophe is that you even make mistake in the easy questions that you can normally solve. So at this point, you understand that round 2 is the maximum focus mode. And the golden rule that you should never break is to keep the hard questions for the very end. The questions that is processing in your background. So you only need to solve those questions at the end. But here's the truth. For the top students, the biggest problem is not time, it's carelessness. If you want a perfect score, the number of questions that you know how to solve but you miss because of carelessness should drop to 0. So beware of these 3 traps.
1. The unit trap. Inches to feet, minutes to hours. Don't let conversions trip you. 2. Answer the actual question. Double check what they asked. Sometimes they want 2x, but you stop after finding x. 3. The default assumption trap. Circles usually give you radius, but sometimes it's diameter. Angles are usually in degrees, but sometimes they're in radians. Always confirm and don't consider something as a default.
One last tip. When you're practicing at home, create pressure tests. It means give yourself less time than actual SAT tests and give yourself hard questions, like questions in the end of Module 2. Because this way, you train your brain what to do under pressure. And when you enter the room test and you see the actual test, it feels so much easier for you. You'll walk in calm, confident, and sharp. So now you know the strategy. Scan fast, solve what's easy, skip what's time consuming, use round 2 for max concentration, and never fall for careless traps. Practice enough and it becomes second nature. And remember, to hit perfect scores, you need two other things. One, math skills, and two, mastery in SAT categories of questions. So if you have problem with either of these two, I'm here. Email me and we'll work together. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment for me. Now go crush that SAT. Good luck.